One of the great things about building an application in 4D is that there are many design options available to you. The majority of those options are native to 4D. They exist as part of the standard widget set. Some are available as plugins and components. Given an example of 4D Write Pro and 4D View Pro, oftentimes they are perceived as a one-dimensional tool, a tool for creating a specific type of document. In many ways, it is true. 2 years ago, at 4D Summit 2018, we showed you how to build a travel brochure, a complex 4D Write Pro document that was built using only 4D Write Pro commands. We also gave you the first introduction to the 4D Write Pro ribbon style toolbar that is now part of the object library in version 18. On the same stage, Mr. Will Taylor, our 4D account manager, gave you the first preview to 4D View Pro and several integration possibilities that you can expect from it. But since then, we have done so much to the products. Many features have been added to ease your design and development process, as well as create a direct benefit to the end users. When 4D View Pro was first released, it came with a toolbar with a nice set of basic features. Many people start using 4D View Pro and start making additional requests, asking to have more features in the toolbar. So, in version 18, we have decided to add a new set of toolbar to expand the end-user functions and enhance the user experience. To demonstrate this, we are switching from the original toolbar to the new toolbar, which is the ribbon style. We'll go ahead and relaunch the form. As you will see, just like that, the new toolbar has much more appealing look and feel, and it is loaded with features that most users will expect to see. But obviously, these features are intended for the end users. But don't worry, for the developers, we got you covered. In version 18, we give you several ways and commands to manage your data, change the appearances, and control the behavior of 4D View Pro area. When working with a 4D View Pro document, the majority of the operations are usually done to a cell or a group of cells, in which we are referred to it as range. The first three commands give you direct access to these specific ranges. VP cell returns a range to a single cell. VP cells returns a range of multiple cells. And VP get active cell returns the range of the current active cell. To gain easy access to a specific range, the command VP add range name can be used to assign a readable name to a range, so you can refer back to it simply by calling the range name. A formula can also be named as well. For example, we want to create a formula to do a summation for this range of data, and we are going to name this formula SumBBB. So once the expression has been executed, the formula SumBBB will become available everywhere on your spreadsheet. This next command lets you dynamically set a formula to a cell. Now here's an example of the formula set to cell D3. The command also supports the use of a formula name as well. Now for this example, we want to assign 3 formulas to these 3 cells. So here is what the code looks like. Instead of calling VP set formula 3 times, we create a collection containing formulas and using the collection to make a call to VP set formulas. Now we have reduced the number of calls to just 1. Similar to the last 2 commands, you can set individually cell value by calling the command VP set value, or you can reduce the number of command execution to just 1 by calling the command VP set values. Here's another handy command when you want to build an interactive document. When working with a large data set, making your spreadsheet automatically scroll can be very helpful to the user. So based on any given range of cells, this command can vertically and horizontally reposition itself so that your target cell becomes visible. Now the next command lets you pretty much convert your 4D View Pro document into an object. Now once it's in the object form, you have your decision to make whether you want to save it, you want to store it somewhere, or manipulate it any way you want. Now, if you are one of those people who likes to live dangerously, you can even modify your object and then convert it back to 4D View Pro using the command import object. So let's take a look at some of these features in action. Here is a form with a 4D View Pro area and a few custom options built using those commands I discussed earlier. Now we are going to start by loading a simple spreadsheet. Here I have a drop-down list for a quick range access. The name of each month is set to correspond to the range of data for that particular month. As you can see, the user can select and choose to work with a particular range of data very quickly simply by choosing an item from the drop-down list. Now let's take a look at the total for each month. For this particular cell, it is set to March total. March total is just the name of a formula that will evaluate the total sum for the month of March. As you can see, we are doing the same thing for other monthly total cells as well. And for the quarterly total, it is as simple as combining the 3 name formulas together. Let's take a look at another document. Obviously, this document has much more data than the last one, which can sometimes present a problem when you're trying to identify a particular set of data. One of the options is to apply a format to a cell that matches a specific condition. Now, for this example, we are going to identify all data that has value less than 3,000. And just like that, those data are now become visible on the screen right away. Now let's locate the data that has the value greater than 20,000. Now you see how easy it is for the user to work with this type of data when it becomes much more visible. Now let's try something different. We'll go ahead and focus on the month of October. I want to be able to find the company who reported the least amount of earnings. And just like that, the result is found and brought forward to the viewport. Now the command that performs automatically repositioning is VP chose cell. We have demonstrated that earlier. It allows me to bring the targeted cell forward without having to have the user manually scroll to it. The same goes to Max button. Now, if I want to, I can apply the same functionality to the larger range of data set, just like so. Now, one last thing I want to show you is the ability to control the visibility of the spreadsheet columns. Have a look at the display area on the right side of your window. Now, there are 4 checkboxes. Each one represents the visibility state for each quarter. I can hide the first 3 quarters simply by unchecking the corresponding checkboxes. Now, this feature relies on a combination of things. When a checkbox state is changed, the document is exported into an object. A visibility attribute has been updated into each column of the object. Once it's done, the object is imported back into 4DView Pro area. And the result is exactly what you're seeing on the screen. So those are just a few things that 4DView Pro can be used to enhance the way the user interacts with data. Now let's turn our attentions to 4DWrite Pro. Not to be outdone by 4DView Pro, 4DWrite Pro also has several new added features since our last summit. As part of our simplification strategy, many of the 4DWrite Pro commands are designed for multi-purpose function. The commands like wp-set-attributes, wp-set-link, and wp-set-view properties are just a few examples of those commands that are packed with control options. Besides the language improvement, several widgets and toolsets are also added to 4DWrite Pro as well. Here we have a form with a 4DWrite Pro area. As you can see, the horizontal ruler is enabled by default. In a recent R release, we have added and updated the toolbar to include an option to show and hide the vertical ruler. It is quite a handy tool when you need to find an accurate location to your cursor or data. It gives the user a way to adjust and make optimal use of the document margin in all sizes. So let's take a look at an example document that takes advantage of this feature. We'll start with a document we created for a 4DWrite Pro brochure. To achieve this specific look and feel, we eliminated the use of margins in all sizes. Now let's zoom out to 75% so you all can see the whole document. Obviously, the placement of all graphics and other elements is extremely important with this type of document. Luckily, 4DWrite Pro has some nice features to help us out. Now let's take a look at this paragraph. We want to have a clear horizontal separation between text that lines up at a particular location. So we set the tab anchor to the 11 centimeter position. Let's see what happened when I clear out that anchor. Well, it doesn't look right, as you can see. So let's add the tab anchor back to this paragraph. But this time, let's set it to the 12 centimeter position. Down here at the bottom, the footer paragraph has 2 tab anchors set to it, and these are the values. We're going to go ahead and round them up to the next digit, but this time I want to show you what happened behind the scene. I will be using the command wp-set-attributes to set the tab anchors. But instead of calling the command twice for each value, I added 2 values into a collection and then passed that collection into the command as the parameter. Now this allows me to minimize the number of command execution down to just 1. I would like to also make this document a little bit more interactive. Now in the last paragraph here, you can see an email address and 2 web addresses. I want to convert them into hyperlinks. Now let's see the magic behind the scene. The command that I'm going to be executing is wp-set_link. For this particular range of text, I will pass in an object that is being constructed with a specific URL. And for my first execution, my URL will be www.40.com. My second one will be blog.40.com. And for my email, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want my email link to open up my default email composer. Now to do that, I have to do something a little bit different. Instead of passing a URL, I will be passing the name of my project method that I created. Also, I will also pass a parameter. In this case, it will be a mail to URI. Now, once I execute this method, you will see that the appearance of all addresses and the email link has changed. And they are now fully active. So when I clicked on the web address, it tells the web browser to open up with that specific web address. And when I clicked on the email address, it will execute my project method that I set up for this link. Now this is what my method looks like. The command open URL will be executed with the mail to URI. Let's go ahead and execute that. And here we are, ready to write and send an email. Now I want to show you another use case for this command, wp-set_link. Here we have a document that's probably one of the most popular documents in the software industry, the licensing agreement. Well, I'm just kidding. Clearly, this is quite a big document. So scrolling up and down, trying to find things that you're looking for, might not be the best option. The good news is you can create a bookmark or bookmarks for main sections of the document. We can use them to quickly scroll to a precise location in the document. But bookmark is not a new feature. What is new is the ability to turn bookmarks into hyperlinks. So we created a table of content and made each line clickable by using the command wp-set_link to reference specific bookmark. Now, besides controlling the data and document navigation, the properties of the document can also be controlled programmatically. These are the document properties that you can set, get, and store directly inside of the document. Now let's change the DPI from 72 to 96. Horizontal ruler, hide them, and show vertical ruler, and maybe set the spell check to enable. Now the command wp-set_view properties is executed behind the scene, applying the updated value to the area. 2 years ago, we showed you how to create a table programmatically. Now let me show you how to do it manually from the toolbar. From the Tables tab, go ahead and choose Table Tool button and select one of the templates. Once a table has been created, you are free to manipulate your table any way you want, including column resizing by dragging. You also get an option to insert, delete rows and columns directly from the toolbar. Now let's go ahead and get rid of this table, and let's build another one using the data directly from the database. And here we have a table that is built programmatically, but it looks like we have some work to do to make it look more presentable. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the first column. And we can do so by using one of our commands. We'll do, again, for the last column, we'll get rid of that one as well. And we'll resize the column, just make it look a little bit more presentable. We want to add a new row, but before we go on, I want to show to you what command I'm using. In this case, I'm using the command invoke action. This is not a new command. It allows you to invoke any standard action. Now, 4D Write Pro also has its own set of standard actions, including the table manipulation. Therefore, this command is perfect for it. Let's run the method. And here's a new inserted row, ready for the user to enter some data. So what you've seen so far are just some of the possibilities for using 4D Write and 4D View Pro. I hope you enjoy it and may be inspired. At this time, thank you for listening. We'll see you.